My name is Mohammed Baoubed. I'm the Executive Director of the Muslim Resource Center for Social Support and Integration. I have been involved with the Muslim Resource Center since the establishment of the center in 2009. But also prior to the establishment of the center, I had been involved in another project called the Muslim Family Safety Project, which really led to the establishment of the Muslim Resource Center.
Yeah, my name is Eugene Tremblay. I am the program director at the Muslim Resource Center. My work is to supervise the clinical staff and make sure that the model that we have here at MRC is implemented. My previous experience, I have at this point about 38 years experience in child welfare.
The main goal of the Muslim Resource Center for Social Support and Integration is to help Muslim families to overcome any challenges that could impact their family safety. And with family safety, I mean in particular the safety of women and children who maybe could be most vulnerable. Many of these challenges could maybe relate to migration experiences, especially the pre-migration stressors as well as the post-migration stressors, especially for those who are new to the country, in particular refugees, but also immigrants.
Our main focus is to really help people who come from conflict zones, usually in the Middle East or West Asia, specifically those who've suffered trauma, violence, torture. We try to become involved as soon as possible because really people who've lived incredible amounts of trauma require, a different understanding to be able to kind of support them, because if we don't deal with those issues, then, it's been our experience that will impact the family and might result in family violence. So as an organization, the Muslim Resource Center, strong focus has been really an anti-violence organization within the Muslim community to help families live a violence-free life. Zuhair, his mom, his dad, and his sister were living in a refugee camp. They had lived there for an extended period of time. Zuhair's father left the camp earlier and immigrated somewhere else because he had that opportunity. And so there was a period of time where Zuhair at the camp was taking care of his mother and sister, was providing for them, and was working and doing all kinds of things. When he left the refugee camp, his father made sure that, he made a promise of being able to, protect and make sure that the honor of the family was protected in terms of his mother and younger sister, and Zuhair did an excellent job with that. He provided for his family, and then he came to Canada. And in Canada, everything kind of changed. And quickly, over a short period of time, there was a lot of financial struggles. And Zuhair, because that was his role, tried to control the finances. And him and his mother got into some struggles around that. So much so at some point that, the mother, she called up the police. Now, when we look at what the police mean in the Middle East, and from his experience, from the family's experience, police are usually called in, and they will come in and they will do this like serious finger wagging type of thing that, you cannot control and you cannot do those types of things, and they will usually leave. Well, in Canada, when police intervene in situations like this, they have a zero tolerance to any type of thing that might be considered abusive. So just prior to Mom calling the police, what had happened is there was an outburst between mother and son lined it up, throwing something and smashing it. So when the police intervened in this situation, they actually pressed charges against him and put in a restraining order. So now he could not have any contact with his family. He had really nowhere to go, except, of course, the Salvation Army or the Men's Mission. And what we know of the Salvation Army and the Men's Mission is there are actually men in the Salvation Army and Men's Mission who go around and they don't speak the language. They are struggling and no one understands them. And they walk up and down the corridors trying to express what's going on with them, and nobody understands. Zuhair did not speak any other language, and he ran the strong potential of being one of those men who would be walking up and down the corridor, possibly very vulnerable because of being surrounded by people that I could consider being opportunistic predators. At the other end of it, mother also, when the police did this, she absolutely did not want this to kind of happen. Now, we have people in our community that we have screened as kinship care providers, people who are willing to come forward if a woman requires safety or somebody is in a situation like Zuhair. So we were able to surface this family who was willing to take in this boy. The mother, knowing that, was able to also kind of relax because she knew that this boy was going to be in a Muslim family and he was going to be taken care of. So that helped bring down a lot in terms of the stress of the family. But she needed still to have her son come home. Now, it was following a regular court process, and in a regular court process, things take an incredible amount of time. Now, Zuhair was assigned a lawyer, and you see, part of the role of MRC sometimes also is to, we needed to educate his lawyer to understand the circumstances that Zuhair came from in order for his lawyer to better explain that to the Crown prosecutor, who would then better explain it to the judge. We explained the situation to the lawyer so that he understood the context, and he was able to talk to the Crown, who was able to talk to the judge, to be able to divert this to a specialized court. He could be in contact with his mother under our supervision. The foster parent kinship provider was able to take him to the mosque, take him to the school, able to take him and represent him at each court. He really felt a part of that family, and he felt very, very supported. Funny though that they didn't speak the same language, but they had in their heart there was the same language. We were able to get the court to almost release him into our custody, and then we continued to work with the family for a period of 1 year. He remained with the foster kinship family for about 4 months, and then he was able to return home to his mother with our continued support. And the kinship family itself also became engaged with the family and provided them support. It's kind of funny again, the family, not knowing the language, still knew what this family needed, and was able to, with our help too, to be able to kind of advocate and support and make sure things really worked out. He considered the kinship family as his uncle and aunt, and that was a relationship that is really being nurtured until now. His mom is doing fine, although I don't think that if there is a conflict that it will escalate to the point that it escalated before. They're very much aware that the police here don't get called in to mediate. They get called in to kind of take action, So that's a little bit about the story of Zuhair.